Chapter 11, Pad Thai and Other Gateway Drugs. Every meal is a love letter. The least you can do is read it with your mouth full. Over the years and across many meals, I've learned a few things about food and about myself through the glorious art of cooking. Yes, I said art, not a task, not a chore, not a life skill you begrudgingly pick up when your microwave dies. Cooking is an art form, one that reveals deep truths about humanity, or at the very least, why some people shouldn't be allowed near a spice rack. Here's one of those universal truths: if you're just eating to live, you're doing it wrong. It doesn't matter how busy you are or how many unread emails are waiting for you. Food is a full body sensory joyride, from aroma to flavor to texture to temperature. It's primal, it's sacred. And if you were shoveling sadness into your mouth while inserting a formula tweak in a spreadsheet on your phone, you might need an intervention. Feed yourself like you give a damn. Better yet, cook something that says I love you for someone else without having to say it out loud. And stop going to McBurg, Nug, Rap, and Zap. Seriously, that stuff will kill you with a side of regret and a garnish of colon cancer. Thailand, blessedly, gets it. Thai people don't just love food, they worship it. And not just their own, though let's be honest, Thai cuisine owns its own celestial tier, but all food. These folks are culinary polytheists. You can be wandering a random soy in Bangkok and stumble across the best wood fired pizza this side of Naples, a shockingly good shawarma joint, a killer ramen cart next to a French crepe wagon, and someone deep frying tarantulas because, hey, why not? I'm not saying you'll find traditional Inuit seal and roast puffin, but give Bangkok 6 months and a craving, and someone will figure it out. This, of course, is not some uniquely Thai affliction. Plenty of cultures are just as food obsessed. Italians, for example, will go to war over who makes the best lasagna. It's whose grandmother is closest to the argument. And the French argue over who makes the best cassoulet. It's always them. But the Thai people, they don't just love food. They worship at the altar with a kind of joyful, all in zeal that puts most foodies to shame. Cooking it, eating it, debating it, and sharing it, even if it's just a rickety sidewalk table and a plate of stir fried something that would make a Michelin spy weep. They're in. You could be sitting alone, mid noodle slurp, and a local will wave you over like you were the long lost cousin they've been waiting for. It happened to me more than once, and not just because I looked pitifully lonely. And when you grasp that Thai food culture began over 14 centuries ago and has been evolving ever since, yeah, they've had time to work out the kinks. Your trendy fusion taco place that opened 6 months ago? The Thai solved that flavor and texture profile back in the 15th century. That taco place is merely catching up. There's a saying in Thailand: Thais eat 8 times a day. They're not kidding, and it's not an exaggeration. Those 8 times a day? They're not full sit down meals, but more like a never ending parade of delicious bits and bites in between life's other duties. A small bowl of something here, a fried nibble there, a bag of little sausages with shredded cabbage, Thai chilies, and lime tossed in for balance. And suddenly it's your seventh snack of the day and you're still going strong. They savor each bite like it's the last taste before the meteor hits. You don't get bored eating like that. You settle into a few go to cravings, but the real fun is throwing out your culinary ew gag reflex and diving headfirst into the unknown. And it's amazing what happens when most of what you feared to eat turns out to be delicious. Over the course of a few months, I munched, slurped, and devoured my way through a sprawling buffet of Thai dishes. Some familiar, while others were completely new to me. A few didn't land. We'll get there. But several were revelations. And just when you think you've figured a dish out, boom! There's a regional variation that flips it on its head while still staying true to the heart and soul of the core recipe. Thai cuisine is like jazz. It riffs, it plays, it surprises. Thai cuisine greatest hits. Let's begin with the one dish that even the most tragically unadventurous eater has heard of: pad thai, the international rock star of Thai cuisine, and the reason half the world thinks they've done Thai food. You'll find it from Bangkok to Boise to Bayonne, slung out of woks with wildly varying degrees of authenticity. When done right, it's a masterclass in balance. The tart, semi sweet tamarind sauce clings to silky rice noodles that have a toothsome bounce. Add a spritz of fresh lime, a mess of crunchy cold bean sprouts, green onions for brightness, and a wonderful peanut nuggets bring the crunch. You'll find pad thai loaded with wok seared shrimp, chicken, or tofu for veg heads. And while it may now be a global staple, pad thai has a strange history. Depending on when you ask, it was either A, invented in the 1930s as part of a national identity campaign, a unifying dish to rally around as Thailand tried to modernize and distinguish itself from Chinese influences, or B, it's actually Chinese, introduced by immigrants and slowly adapted to the Thai palate until it morphed into the dish we know today. Both stories are true in the way history loves a paradox. The Chinese brought in the rice noodles, but it was a unique Thai flair for sour, sweet, savory, bitter, spicy that made it sing. And here's the kicker: the rice noodles weren't just a culinary trend, they were a political and survival solution. Thailand was facing a rice shortage, and grinding it into flour for noodles stretched the supply a lot farther than a pot of steamed jasmine ever could. Practical, patriotic, and delicious. That's pad thai for you. Then there's Gang Kiao Wan, green curry, which sounds innocent until it hits your tongue like a flamethrower disguised as a fragrant hug. This is the curry that smiles sweetly at you as it punches you in the esophagus. The base is a vibrant green curry paste made from mouse-dropped chilies, lots of them. Galangal, lemongrass, kaffir lime zest and leaves, coriander stems, and a host of other aggressive yet inviting aromatics. It's spicy, yes, but also bright, almost floral and vegetal in that way only something this green and this unapologetically Thai can be. Traditionally, it's made with fish balls, bouncy, ocean flavored spheres that are delightful once you stop overthinking the name. But like most Thai dishes, green curry plays well with just about any protein you throw at it: chicken, pork, beef, tofu, or shrimp if your cholesterol is too low. The heat, however, doesn't care who you are. It's coming for you. One of the unsung heroes of this dish is the eggplant. Not the kind your grandma slices into a tray of Parmesan layers, but two Thai varieties that remind you the world is bigger than the produce section at Whole Foods. The tiny, bitter pea eggplants pop like caviar with a vegetal crunch, while the second one, the Thai green eggplant, is firm and meaty, more squash than sponge. They both bring a texture that's utterly unique, like a stir fry crashed a curry party. And don't expect the usual rich stew like body and texture here. Green curry is often thinner, more of a pour it over your rice affair than a stick to your ribs consistency. Green curry is a dish that doesn't just flirt with your palate, it kicks down the door, leaving you sweating while smiling like an idiot, wondering if you should go back for seconds. You should. Tom Kha Kung. Kung equals shrimp, or Tom Kha Gai. Gai equals chicken. Is Thailand's fragrant love letter to soup, rich yet light at the same time. It has a wonderful balance between creamy coconut milk infused with lemongrass, kaffir lime leaves, lime juice, and the bold, earthy, peppery kick of galangal. Galangal, for the record, is not ginger, no matter how many Western recipe bloggers swear it's basically the same. It isn't even close. Ginger is warm, floral, and cozy. Galangal is earthy, sharp, and unapologetic. Tom Kha often uses straw or shiitake mushrooms, and if you're dining in a fusion happy cafe in the West, you might also get bamboo shoots or water chestnuts tossed in. The word tom means to boil, which is why all Thai soups start with tom. Ka translates into galangal. This dish appears to have boiled its way into Thai culinary history sometime in the late 1800s, with the first known recipe showing up in an 1874 AD cookbook. Trying to make an authentic version outside of Thailand, though, is like trying to play a Mozart symphony with a kazoo and a YouTube tutorial. Kaffir lime leaves are elusive. Galangal gets swapped out for ginger, and the balance, so integral to Thai cuisine, goes a bit sideways. Still, even a not quite right version of Tom Kha can transport you, if only briefly, to a place where soup is sacred and kaffir leaves are plentiful. Continuing with soups, possibly the oldest dish in the Thai canon is Tom Yum. Emblematic of central Thai cuisine, this soup's history stretches back centuries, deep into the mists of culinary antiquity. It's such a cornerstone of Thai food culture that UNESCO recognized it as part of Thailand's intangible cultural heritage. Not bad for what started as a peasant fish soup that was based off whatever the catch of the day was with veggies and herbs in a pot. Tom Yum reflects centuries of ecological adaptation and that unmistakably Thai love for contrast. Spicy, sour, salty, and sweet, all dancing together in one bowl. How does it pull off that mouth gratifying balancing act? With a lineup of flavor powerhouses: galangal, lemongrass, kaffir lime leaves, chilies, fish sauce, and tamarind in a fish based broth, traditionally a clear one. Toss in whole shelled giant river prawns and a generous handful of fresh herbs, and you've got the historical blueprint for the dish. But there are variations, not least being the modern addition of coconut milk for a creamy version. The creamy iteration is considered by traditionalists to be a bastardization of the heart and soul of the soup and is thus frowned upon by purists. However, that doesn't mean that changing things up now and again is wholly discounted. Chefs use crab, fish, frogs, or eels, or whatever was flopping around in the river today mix. And somehow, all those ingredients in concert create a dish long believed to have natural antiviral and antibacterial properties. Galangal is a well known anti inflammatory, lemongrass, an efficient detoxifying monster, and chilies? They set fire to your bloodstream in all the right ways. During flu season, Tom Yum becomes Thailand's unofficial cure all, and I can vouch for that firsthand. There was a beautiful Thai restaurant called Royal Thai on a tree shaded corner of No and Henry Streets in San Francisco's Castro district. I ate there once a month for years. The food was phenomenal, and the all Thai staff were lovely people. One winter, I contracted pneumonia and was utterly wrecked. Somewhere between fever delirium and a pharmacy's worth of meds, I realized I needed to eat. Unfortunately, everything sounded as appetizing as a pile of raw lentils. Over the years, I'd heard that hot, spicy, and sour soups were good for illness, especially bronchial afflictions. That wisdom was born from the deeper knowledge of ancient Chinese herbal medicines. I asked my partner to pick up some Tom Kha Gai. I also requested that the chef crank up the heat. Once chef understood how sick I was, he made a judgment call. He swapped the Tom Kha for two orders of Thai spicy Tom Yum, with instructions that I eat only that over the next 2 days and nights. So, I did. I woke the morning after the 2 day soup prescription with a clear head, a clear chest, and while I still lacked energy, I no longer felt like I'd collapsed just trying to make it to the bathroom to take a shower, something I hadn't managed in a week. Was it the blazing Thai spicy Tom Yum? Was it the drugs? Was it the bed rest? Probably all of the above in concert. But I like to think it was also something more. Centuries of folklore and kitchen wisdom, whether it was a soup powered placebo effect or the real deal. I know one thing, it didn't hurt. This next dish, vegetarians and vegans, you'll want to skip this part. Your loss. It's all about crispy skinned pork belly, known in Thailand as mu krab. It is wildly popular throughout Asia and in other parts of the world as well, like in Mexico, where chicharrones are a ubiquitous snack everywhere you go. It's an ode to crispy, porky perfection, and it's awesome. The origins of the method reside in the Guangdong province of southern China, where it is known as siu yuk and is believed to have been perfected during the Qing dynasty, which lasted a long time, from 1644 to 1912. At some point, an amazing Chinese chef with a hell of a lot of time on his hands found that if you put pork belly through a day long process using multiple steps of cleaning, scoring, marinating, and then boiling it in salt and vinegar, cooling, poking, basting, baking, cooling, drying, basting again, frying, cooling again, then rebaking, through this arduous process, you wind up with an incredible pork wonderland of flavor and texture. Through this long and involved cook, the delight of moo crab comes forward. The contrasting textures bounce around in your mouth like a party. Ultra crispy skin, followed by a silky layer of pork fat, then followed by a layer of sweet and tender pork meat. Moo crab is used in a variety of ways, aside from shoveling it into your grateful mouth, either as a standalone dish served with steamed rice and a dipping sauce, or as an ingredient to other dishes. It is versatile in its application. Some vendors use it as the base for pad kra pao, or in a stir fry with Chinese broccoli, pad kana, in soups and curries. Its uses are as endless as it is delicious. Larb, also found with the spelling Laab, which is closer to its phonetic pronunciation, is a beloved culinary diplomat of Laos and is often touted as that country's national dish. Though it has long since crossed borders and planted flavorful flags across northern Thailand and throughout the rest of Asia under different guises, it remains very Laotian. This spicy, citrusy, savory minced meat salad has ancient roots in the Mekong River basin, where food was less about plating and more about survival. Traditionally made with beef or pork, though chicken, duck, buffalo, mushrooms, or fermented fish may join the party. Larb was a way of making use of every part of the animal. No waste, all flavor. The Laotian version is anchored in an Asian trio of fish sauce, lime juice, and toasted ground rice, giving it a bright and sour edge. But when the dish migrated south into the Isan, the northeastern region of Thailand, it took on bolder, spicier characteristics. Thai chefs began infusing it with assertive spice blends: cumin, clove, black pepper, cinnamon, prickly ash seeds, cousins to Szechuan peppercorn, and the occasional star anise thrown in for licorice notes. Texture is critical. This is not just meat mush. Roasted rice powder or puffed millet adds a nutty crunch, while crispy fish shallots play the role of salty confetti. Depending on what you're eating, when you're eating it, and how brave you're feeling, the dish may be enriched with coagulated cow or pork blood for depth and umami, though this component is often left out of raw versions to avoid, well, disaster. It's served either hot or cold, though always with a flurry of fresh herbs: mint, cilantro, and royal basil leading the charge, and accompanied by sticky rice, which acts as both utensil and fire extinguisher. And yes, larb can be spicy enough to make you rethink that first bite. But once the heat subsides, what lingers is complexity, history, and the unmistakable taste of a borderless dish that somehow manages to be both rustic and refined. Pad Kra Pao, or Krapao, is Thailand's answer to the "I need something fast, cheap, and delicious before I fall over" culinary dilemma. A blisteringly hot wok, some minced pork or chicken, a fistful of holy basil, which Americans often mislabel as Thai basil, close but no cigar, garlic, chilies, and a splash of soy and fish sauce, and boom! You've got Thailand's version of the burger, the taco, or the emergency slice of pizza. This dish is everywhere, from humble roadside carts to upscale food courts to your neighborhood Bangkok cafe with a cat on the counter. It's the national comfort food for people who are short on time, but not on standards. Historically, pad kra pao doesn't show up in Thailand cookbooks until the mid 20th century, but it's firmly rooted in the country's wok based stir fry traditions introduced through Chinese culinary influence. The Thai spin came with the holy basil, caprao in Thai, which leads the dish to a peppery, anise tinged, borderline electric aroma. Holy basil has a more medicinal kick than the milder sweet basil or the purplish Thai basil Americans are used to. That said, home cooks abroad can swap in Genovese basil, and while it's not quite the same, the high oil content gives it a similar aromatic punch. The dish is served with steamed jasmine rice, not sticky rice, which is reserved more for the northern and northeastern regions. Pad kra pao is often crowned with a crispy edged, runny yolked fried egg, kai deo, because why stop when you can gild it with a creamy, eggy addition? It's traditionally eaten for lunch, the kind of thing you grab on your break and inhale in 5 minutes while sitting on a plastic stool in the shade of an umbrella on a busy sidewalk. But make no mistake, this humble stir fry is a heavyweight, delivering heat, fat, umami, and herbal freshness in one deceptively simple plate. Pad Pak Boong, or stir fry morning glory, is one of Thailand's most beloved vegetable dishes. Simple in preparation, but full of character. Known elsewhere as water spinach, morning glory is a leafy green with long, hollow stems and delicate leaves that create a satisfying contrast when cooked. The stems retain a light crunch, while the leaves wilt just enough to absorb the deep, savory flavors of the sauce. The dish is typically flash stir fried in a very hot wok with a heap of minced garlic, fish sauce, oyster sauce, fermented soybean paste, and ripe Thai bird's eye chilies. The result is a savory, slightly sweet, and spicy profile that's bold without being overpowering. While fresh morning glory is ideal, spinach can work in a pinch, though the texture and flavor don't quite match the original. Bird's eye chilies, which are increasingly available in markets in the US, add a clean, sharp heat. They dry well and can be stored and rehydrated when needed, making them a useful addition to any pantry if you enjoy Thai cooking, or simply want to light your mouth on fire. For me, Pad Pak Boong became my favorite vegetarian dish, thanks to the interplay of texture and bold flavor. It's often served as a side but stands confidently on its own, especially when served with a scoop of jasmine rice. There's something deeply satisfying about its balance. The earthy yet sweet greens, the salt and heat of the sauce, and the brightness of the chilies all working together in harmony. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unassuming dishes are the ones that stay with you longest. Penang curry is one of Thailand's most distinctive curries, a gently spiced, deeply flavorful dish that brings together warmth, sweetness, and a subtle nutty richness. It belongs to the red curry family, but sets itself apart with a generous use of ground peanuts, which lend both texture and a mellow, rounded flavor. The curry paste is an intricate blend, traditionally made with two kinds of dried chilies, fiery bird's eye and the milder, slightly sweet prickleung, a type of Thai banana pepper. These are combined with galangal, lemongrass, lime zest, garlic, shallots, toasted coriander seeds, and mortar pounded stems, cumin, shrimp paste, and salt. Peanuts are pounded in with the rest, not just as a garnish, but as a defining ingredient in the paste itself. Think curry with peanut butter. Penang curry works with a wide range of proteins, including beef, pork, chicken, duck, lamb, or game meats, each absorbing the curry's rich profile in a slightly different way. What makes this dish especially unique is the absence of added stock or water. Instead, coconut milk is used, giving the curry a thick, velvety consistency. Palm sugar adds a gentle sweetness, while fish sauce deepens the savory umami notes. Finely sliced lime leaves are often stirred in toward the end, their exotic citrusy brightness balancing the richness of the sauce. Served with jasmine rice, Penang curry is a satisfying meal, particularly when it leans into its natural heat. Despite its depth, it never feels heavy or overwhelming. Instead, it's a dish that reflects the careful layering and balance that defines Thai culture. Spicy, creamy, aromatic, and deeply comforting. Masaman curry is one of Thailand's most unique and quietly complex dishes. Another gently spiced, slightly sweet curry that reflects a blend of Thai technique and its Muslim culinary heritage. The warm, golden color comes from turmeric and toasted spices, and unlike many of Thailand's fiery red or green curries, Masaman leans into a subtler aromatic profile. It's thought to have originated from Persian influenced Muslim communities in southern Thailand, particularly through connections with neighboring Malaysia, and it has remained a fusion dish ever since, distinct from, but still very much a part of, Thai cuisine. The paste is built from the familiar Thai base galangal, lemongrass, garlic, shallots, coriander seeds, shrimp paste, and bird's eye chilies. But what sets it apart are the additions that reflect its Muslim roots cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, star anise, cumin, nutmeg, bay leaves, and mace. These ingredients aren't found in other Thai curries, and their inclusion gives masaman its mellow warmth and slightly sweet, almost dessert like undertone. Roasted peanuts are another key element, offering a soft crunch and a richness which complements the creamy coconut milk base. Chicken is the most common protein used, and it pairs well with gentle spices. But I tried a version made with duck that was exceptional. The slight gaminess of the meat played beautifully against the sweet sauce. Masaman is typically served with steamed jasmine rice, though it's also delicious with roti or a flatbread like naan. Compared to the intensity of other Thai curries, Masaman is a welcome change of pace. Comforting, nuanced, and deeply satisfying without overwhelming the palate with heat. It's a dish that invites you to slow down and savor each bite. A reminder that not all flavor needs to shout to be heard. It's also refreshing in the way it doesn't light your face on fire while the rest of your body erupts into a flop sweat. Som tum, the iconic green papaya salad, is a vibrant and refreshing dish with deep roots in Laos and northeastern Isan cultures. Though it has since become a staple throughout Thailand and much of Southeast Asia, its origins again trace back to Laos, where it has been part of the culinary landscape since at least the mid 18th century. Over time, the dish has evolved and adapted to local tastes, with each country, and often each region, adding its own signature variation. In Thailand, som tum has taken on a special prominence, balancing bold flavors, brightness, and fresh textures in a way that reflects the essence of Thai cuisine. Som tum is made from finely shredded green papaya, which has a crisp texture and a neutral flavor that absorbs the punchy dressing. The salad is prepared in a large stone mortar and pestle, allowing the ingredients to be lightly bruised together, releasing their juices and melding flavors. Common additions include garlic, bird's eye chilies, roasted peanuts, dried shrimp, cherry tomatoes, holy basil, long beans, and shredded green cabbage. The dressing is a carefully balanced combination of palm sugar, fish sauce, and lime juice, resulting in a dish that is simultaneously spicy, sweet, salty, and sour. Somtum is served alongside sticky rice, and it pairs well with grilled meats or simply eaten on its own. While its freshness is part of the appeal, it's the interplay of textures and temperatures. Crunchy papaya, warm rice, cool herbs that elevates it. Depending on the region and the chef, the heat level can range from mild to bracingly intense, defining what Thai spicy means. But even at its spiciest, there's a clarity to the dish that keeps it light and invigorating. More than just a salad, som tum is a reflection of local ingredients, traditional preparation, and the enduring appeal of bold, harmonious flavor. Po Pia Tod, Thailand's crispy fried spring rolls, are a beloved street snack and appetizer found just about everywhere, from bustling night markets to restaurant menus worldwide. Light, golden, and satisfying, these crunchy parcels are typically eaten on the go or as a shared starter, offering a savory contrast to the bold, often spicy main dishes that follow. Well, the exact origin of the spring roll is difficult to pinpoint. Culinary historians trace its beginnings to China's Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 AD, where early versions likely evolved from flat fried scallion pancakes. Over time, this concept spread throughout Asia, adapting to local ingredients along the way. In Thailand, popia refers specifically to the thin, delicate rice flour wrappers used to encase the filling, distinct from the thicker wheat based wrappers used in Chinese rolls. Popia tod are typically vegetarian, filled with a mixture of finely shredded vegetables such as carrots, cabbage, onions, and mushrooms, often including black fungus for both flavor and texture. Most versions also feature glass noodles, bean thread noodles, which give the filling a soft, springy quality. While pork is sometimes added for richness, especially in home cooked or regional variations, the vegetarian version remains the most common and widely enjoyed. The beauty of po pia tod lies in their versatility. Each cook adds their own twist, whether by adjusting the vegetable mix, seasoning the filling differently, or pairing the rolls with a signature dipping sauce, sweet chili, tamarind, or even a vinegar based blend for contrast. The widespread popularity of spring rolls across Asia has led to a variety of styles that are now associated with different cultures, from Vietnamese chio gio to Filipino lumpia. Yet, despite their global reach, Thai style spring rolls remain distinct in their balance of lightness and flavor. Sai Krok Isan, the fermented pork and rice sausages of northeastern Thailand, are one of the country's most satisfying street food snacks. The small round sausages, typically about the size of a little ping pong ball, are made with a blend of ground pork, cooked rice, garlic, salt, and regional spices, each vendor adding their own signature twist. What sets them apart, though, is the fermentation process. Traditionally, the stuffed casings are left to open air ferment for anywhere from 1 to a few days. This creates a gentle tanginess and a slightly funky, savory depth that pairs perfectly with the charred smokiness from hardwood grills. The use of fermentation isn't just for flavor, it's also a time honored method of preservation that's well suited to hot climates. Today, Sai Crocusan are found throughout Thailand, but they remain especially popular in the north and northeast where they originated. Whether you are wandering through a busy Bangkok night market or exploring a quiet village roadside stand, chances are good you'll come across a cart sizzling with rows of these juicy links. They're typically served in sets of 3 to 6 on a skewer, accompanied by a handful of raw accompaniments meant to be eaten together in alternating bites: freshly sliced ginger, crunchy cabbage, and fiery bird's eye chilies. This combination creates a perfect contrast: cool and spicy, savory, crisp, and chewy, and helps cut through the richness of the sausage. It's an experience meant to be eaten with your hands, with no pretense, just the joy of tangy, earthy flavors enjoyed on the move. You'll often find Sai Krokasan alongside a variety of other Thai sausages: herbal, spicy, grilled, or smoked, allowing you to sample the full spectrum of Thailand's sausage culture. But there's something about the fermented complexity of Sai Krokasan that keeps you coming back. They're bold but balanced, humble but unforgettable, and as deeply tied to a place as any dish can be. Pad See Ew is one of Thailand's most beloved comfort foods. A smoky, savory, stir frying noodle dish made with the wide, flat rice noodles that soak up flavor like a sponge. The name translates simply to stir fried with soy sauce, and that's what gives this dish its signature taste. At high heat, dark soy sauce caramelizes against the hot surface of the wok, creating telltale reduced and intensified flecks on the noodles, visual proof of the dish's rich, slightly sweet depth. It's typically made with Chinese broccoli or other sturdy greens, garlic, and a protein like chicken, pork, or tofu, though beef and shrimp are common as well. The texture is a huge part of pad see ews appeal. The broad rice noodles, similar to Chinese chow fun, are soft and silky, but with just enough chew to hold their own against the crisp vegetables and seared protein. When done well, the dish achieves a balance between smoky, salty, and savory, with the soy sauce marrying the ingredients into something greater than the sum of its parts. Though deeply Thai in its current expression, pad see ew also has Chinese roots. The method of stir frying noodles in a hot wok originated in China and spread across Southeast Asia through centuries of migration and trade. In fact, many Thai noodle dishes owe a debt to Chinese cooking techniques, which were seamlessly woven into the local culinary tapestry. Versions of this dish, with regional tweaks, appear in Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and beyond, adapted to local ingredients and tastes. In Thailand, pad see ew is an everyday staple, found at street carts, casual eateries, and in refined restaurants. It's quick to prepare, satisfyingly hearty, and endlessly adaptable. Whether grabbed on the go or served as part of a larger family meal, it's a kind of dish that manages to be both simple and deeply comforting, hitting all the right notes with just a few well chosen ingredients. Cow pad, or Thai fried rice, is a humble but satisfying dish that stands apart from its Chinese and Japanese counterparts thanks to its use of jasmine rice and the unmistakable influence of Thai herbs and seasonings. The word cow means rice, and pad means stir fried. But unlike many other Asian fried dishes that use either basmati or other long grain rices, cow pad is built on the delicate aromatic foundation of jasmine rice, a variety native to Thailand which adds a subtle floral note and light, fluffy texture even after stir fried. You'll find cow pad everywhere, from roadside stalls to family kitchens to casual restaurants, and it's endlessly customizable. The most traditional proteins are chicken, pork, or prawns, but you can ask for crab, tofu, or beef, depending on your preference. Regardless of the protein, the dish includes egg, garlic, green onions, and tomatoes, the latter being something of a signature Thai addition, rarely found in other regional versions of fried rice. The tomato adds both color and a bright acidity that balances the saltier elements of the dish. Seasonings are used with restraint but purpose. A splash of soy sauce, a touch of palm sugar, a dash of fish sauce, nam pla, and if you're in the mood for heat, Thai chili flakes or a spoonful of chili sauce. Everything is tossed together in a searing hot wok, often in less than a minute, until the egg sets, the rice is slightly crisped. It's served with traditional garnishes that provide a cooling contrast to the wok's smoky heat. Slices of fresh cucumber, wedges of fresh tomato and lime, sprigs of cilantro and green onion, and often a small dish of fric nam pla, the spicy, sour dipping sauce made from fish sauce, sliced Thai bird eyes chilies, lime juice, vinegar marinated garlic, and shallots. This adds a sharp, tangy kick you can dial up or down depending on your taste. BTW, you should add a dash of fric nam pla onto almost all Thai dishes because it will give a blast of authentic Thai flavors, and it's always available on carts and restaurant tables. While cow pad is a quick, unpretentious meal, there are elevated versions too. In one particularly memorable version I tried, the cook used preserved yuzu, much like North African preserved lemon, which gave the dish a citrus punch that lingered on the palate and completely changed the tone of the rice. It was bold, bright, thoroughly Thai, yet an excellent example of how even a modest dish like fried rice can surprise you. Khao niao is sticky rice. It is ubiquitous throughout Thailand and is much a culinary staple as it is a utensil. As mentioned before, it is known as gluttonous rice through this, though glutinous rice, though there is no gluten in it. It gets that description because it becomes a little sticky and chewy when cooked properly. This species has been cultivated in Thailand for centuries, especially in the north, where to this day it is a staple of almost every meal. Cooking sticky rice uses a different method from other grains. The rice is first soaked in water for several hours, which softens the grains and makes them sticky. Then the rice is drained and steamed in a bamboo steamer called cow, nyao kroa. Once it is cooled and served, locals often use it as a scoop for curry dishes. Khao Niao Mamuang, mango sticky rice, is Thailand's ubiquitous beloved dessert. It is a simple yet indulgent combination of ripe mango slices served atop sticky rice that's been dressed in sweetened coconut milk. You'll find it on dessert menus, at street stalls, in night markets, and in home kitchens throughout the country. The dish is remarkably consistent no matter where you try it, and while recipes may vary slightly in sweetness or presentation, the core components are always the same: glutinous rice, coconut milk, sugar, a pinch of salt to bring out the depth of the sweetness, and of course, those perfectly ripe Thai mangoes. The origins of mango sticky rice dates back to the late Ayutthaya period, roughly the 18th century, when tropical fruits like mango were first incorporated into desserts. Over time, this pairing of juicy fruit and creamy rice evolved into a quintessential warm weather treat, eaten especially during mango season, typically April to June, when the fruit is at its peak, golden, fragrant, and absurdly juicy. Personally, while I can appreciate the cultural significance and texture contrast the dish provides, I never fully fell for the combination. I like sticky rice well enough, but for me, pairing it with mango and condensed coconut milk dulls the vibrant, sun ripened sweetness of the fruit. More often than not, I'd find myself quietly nudging the rice aside once no one was looking, laser focused on the mango, which was all I really came for. Still, the popularity of the dish speaks for itself, and when everything is in perfect balance, the slightly salty rice, the sweetness of the coconut milk, and the juicy fruit, it's easy to see why it's such a crowd favorite. Those are just a handful of the classic Thai dishes you'll encounter at nearly every Thai eatery around the world. From humble street carts and bustling food courts to elegant white tablecloth restaurants. Whether you are wandering through the alleys of Chiang Mai or sitting down at your neighborhood spot back home, these dishes form the foundation of a cuisine that is vibrant, layered, and deeply rooted in both history and regional identity. Thai food is far more than the sum of its flavors. It's a reflection of the country's culture, geography, and spirit. I encourage everyone with a curious appetite to explore beyond the familiar staples. Try something unexpected and taste firsthand why Thai cuisine continues to be celebrated as one of the world's truly iconic culinary traditions. But there are also a few so called classics I don't care for. And of course, since food, like music and art, is incredibly subjective, take the following with your own grains of salt. Chief among them, the much touted Northern Thai darling, cow soy. Heralded as the pride of Chiang Mai, this curry based noodle soup is the region's culinary prom queen. I tried it before leaving the US, wanting to familiarize my palate with a dish I'd never ordered as part of my pre departure research, i.e., eating my way through Thai takeout. And my first encounter was underwhelming to the point of offense. On paper, cow soy is interesting. Silky noodles swimming in a complex spiced coconut curry broth, topped with a crispy nest of fried noodles for a dramatic textural contrast. What could go wrong? Everything, apparently. Version I tried back home was a crime against both soup and noodles. A gritty, under-seasoned curry sludge, courtesy of what must have been a Costco sized jar of curry powder and a ladle of cornstarch, sat like a muddy swamp in the bowl. The wet noodles clumped together like overcooked tagliatelle that had not been stirred, while the fried noodles, meant to bring crunch and flair, had all the charisma of cardboard. The whole thing had the mouthfeel of regret and the flavor profile of apathy. It was a culinary disaster. I left the restaurant feeling betrayed and mildly angry at the chef and the Yelp reviewers who gave it 5 stars. Traveling through the Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai regions, I figured I owed it to the culinary gods, or at least the northern Thai aunties, to try this legendary dish on its home turf. Maybe I'd just been duped by some hungover line cook in rural Washington. Maybe the real cow soy would redeem itself and rise gloriously from the ashes of my skepticism. I approached the experience like someone giving an ex a second chance. Wary, side eye engaged, bracing for disappointment, but secretly hoping magic would strike. After all, this was northern Thailand's national treasure, their edible ambassador. Surely it had more to offer than gluey noodles and pasty curry sludge sadness. I was ready for revelation and confirmation. What was I looking for? Not much. Just a bowl with a broth that had depth and balance, something that didn't taste like curry powder dumped into canned stock by a cook on autopilot. I wanted noodles that weren't coagulated into one unified lump by impatience, and topping noodles that could hold their crunch for more than a ceremonial dunk in the soup. That's the whole pitch, right? Silky meets crispy, rich meets bright. Up in Rai, I made my way back to the back alley restaurant, which was really a converted garage with plastic chairs and zero pretense. I'd stumbled on it earlier in the week, lured by a street side A board advertising duck noodle soup and the kind of intoxicating aromas that make your stomach negotiate with your feet. Tucked away a few blocks from my guest house and buried down an alley, the place had a thick chopping block so worn from the decades of duck and pork carnage, it was a countertop canvas of the restaurant's history. That first bowl of crispy duck noodle soup had been incredibly perfect. Rich, layered, soulful, and extremely ducky. This wasn't the kind of spot tourists wandered into. I was the only foreign face there and got a warm, almost amused smile from the cook, like I'd passed some kind of unspoken test. Packed with locals again, just like before, it checked all the right boxes. If any place was going to redeem cow soy, this had to be it. My second time around, I ignored the sultry siren song of the duck, which practically quacked from the kitchen. Insisting it, I ordered again. It nearly worked. My stomach was already clearing space. But I stood firm and ordered the cow soy. My theory? If this place could craft a duck soup with that kind of depth and precision, borderline transcendent, then surely they could nail anything on the menu, including the elusive cow soy. And they did. They really did. The broth was light but layered, complex without being muddy. The curry notes were warm and fragrant, floating above a clean yet savory stock base, with whispers of galangal and mint that played delicately on the nose and the palate. It was lightly spiced, a minor miracle in a country where mild still means have fun sweating through your soul. The rice noodles? Silky, tender, and perfectly slippery, with just enough chew to keep things interesting. The crunchy noodles? Hallelujah! Actually crunched. No sad, soggy toppers here. Each bite snapped with texture. It was, by every metric, a perfect bowl of cow soy. And yet, it didn't convert me. As much as I admired the execution, I couldn't get behind a curry as a soup poured over noodles. There's something about the combo that feels inherently off to me. Maybe it's a texture thing, which is odd since I adore pho, or a flavor delivery issue. I don't know. I've repeatedly racked my culinary mind and can't figure what about it doesn't work for me. All I can say is that even in its most elegant, balanced, and technically flawless form, Kale Soy still didn't win me over. As the old saying goes, to each their own weird kinks. Okay, yes, I made that up. However, what I've come to accept as a sommelier and through years of cooking and chasing tastes across continents is that sensory pleasure is wildly, unapologetically subjective. If your happy place involves white Zinfandel paired with pickled herring with a sprinkle of chocolate shavings, great, go for it. We all have our culinary soft spots, and one person's comfort food is another's gag reflex. So, well, kale soy isn't it for me. I get it. I could see the appeal, especially after a long night knocking back beers and shots until you start mistaking tuk tuks for unicorns. In that state, yeah, bring on the salty, noodly, crunchy, curried bowl of belly filling and alcohol absorbing goodness. For my palate, though, it'll always be the soup equivalent of a drunk dial. Momentarily satisfying, deeply confusing, and better left out. Pad Thai, the dish with a variability range as wide as the A23A iceberg. Most of the time, it's dirt cheap. We're talking a buck a plate, and does its job admirably. Gut filler with a Mr. Peanut smile. I had plenty that were perfectly edible, even tasty, but I kept craving more. More texture, more contrast, hot noodles, refrigerator cold sprouts, a sharper lime zing, noodles that didn't feel like they'd been merely the vehicle for the sauce, and peanuts that delivered crunch. Here's the thing: pad thai in Thailand feels like a menu obligation. The cooks make it because tourists expect it, not because they're dying to show off their wok skills. Meanwhile, back in the States, pad thai is treated like sacred culinary scripture. Most Thai restaurants there put real pride into it, and it shows. Ironically, the dish that made Thai food famous abroad often ends up being the most forgettable in its home base. I discovered something else regarding Thai chefs and its cuisine: presentation, or more specifically, the lack of presentation. That extra flourish, the artful plate design, the delicate sauce swirls and dots, the vertical food stacks with microgreens adorning the peak like it's auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. At most of the places I ate, it was, here's your food, now eat. And hey, from street carts? Fair enough. You were getting a paper plate and a low stool. Maybe. Nobody's expecting edible confetti. But restaurants? Indoor restaurants with chairs that don't fold? Still, for the most part, no dice. Thai food is dished out like grandma's been running the kitchen since '68, and she's got zero time for camera ready nonsense. A scoop here, a ladle there, now move along. That, of course, is not true for all venues. I had some dishes that were both inspiring and beautiful, but that is not the norm. And no, I didn't take pictures. Food is for eating. Strangely, other cultures do a better job prettifying Thai food than the Thais do. In America, we want our meals to not only be delicious, but to perform and entertain as well. We need drama with our dinner. We want our plates to look like they studied under both Eric Ripert and Joni Ive and graduated with honors. The Thais, on the other hand, they don't seem to care what the dish looks like. It's food, not a freaking Monet. You eat it, you don't hang it on a wall. In the US and in other cultures as well, France, we treat food like performance art. Dishes look like they were curated by a design team with mood boards. In Thailand, if the food's good, and it almost always is, don't stare at it. Shovel it into your face. Presentation is for people with time to burn and a social media addiction. Thai cooks aren't trying to impress your followers, they're feeding you. There's a difference. And yet, despite their don't look at it, just eat it culinary ethos, the Thais have a voracious appetite for cuisines from across the world. They're global gourmands with no borders on their palates. Fancy an Argentinian steak the size of a table? So do they. Those places are packed. Sushi bars? wall to wall with chopsticks flying. Italian joints? You better have a reservation and a bribe. The French restaurants? Fully booked, even if all you're getting is a thimble of duck foam on a smear of pomegranate disappointment. One Tuesday morning, I ventured out for a full English breakfast because nothing screams vacation like blood sausage and fried bread at 8 a.m. I'd seen a place hyped in a local foodie newsletter and showed up early thinking I'd beat the rush. Nope. I waited 45 minutes behind a crowd of ravenous Thai diners all jonesing for beans on toast and broiled tomatoes. And it's not just Irish breakfasts. American burger joints, Indian curry houses, real deal Mexican taquerias. British fish and chips. These places are consistently packed. I had walked past a Russian restaurant. Yes, Russian. Not exactly known for lighting the culinary world on fire. And it was full on a Wednesday night. The menu? Borscht, mushrooms, and boiled meat. And the Thai crowd? Smiling, laughing, devouring it like it was a holiday dinner. It wasn't. I checked. I don't know what kind of witchcraft was happening in that kitchen, but clearly someone cracked the code on cabbage and potato based happiness. That's the thing about Thailand, about food, about people, about life there. It's not about perfect presentations or Michelin starred sommelier pairings. It's about joy, about nourishment, about eating something good while laughing with friends and family or sitting on a plastic stool by yourself, sweating through your shirt and wondering how a $1 bowl of noodles just made an ethereal deity come to life on your taste buds. Thais don't fuss over the abstract. They live in a deeply practical kind of grace. If the food is flavorful and balanced, it's good. If it makes you smile or sweat or sigh with pleasure, it's doing its job. No one here is posting selfies with their curry. They're too busy enjoying it. And that taught me something. For all our Western obsession with perfection, plating prestige, elevated experiences, we often miss the point. Food is supposed to feed you. It's supposed to root you in the now. It's a kind of mindfulness that doesn't come from a yoga mat or an app. It comes from a spoonful of something delicious and real, handed to you with a smile. So, whether it's a mango that needs no rice, a cow soy that still doesn't win you over, or a Russian mushroom stew on a humid Thai night, what matters is that you showed up hungry with an eye toward exploration. Show up, taste, honor what others love by trying to bite, even if it's not your thing. Because in the end, that exploration is the real feast.